by the man, the myth, the legend, Sivutha Soth.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
What's
How you
up,
been,
brother?
brother? Good,
Good,
good. How you
man.
been?
I've been good. How about you?
Man, just chilling. Another day, another pay, another dollar.
Yeah.
Boy, 50 cents.
Hey, however it
But
goes, right?
everything's good. Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good, man. No complaints over here. Living life to the fullest. Just enjoying life as is. So you know how it is.
So you're staying healthy. You said you just what you got done working out?
Yeah, it was actually this morning. A couple of my buddies just said to hit me up. Well, we've been planning this ever since last week. Uh, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Let's go to the gym, And I woke up, had my alarm set up at like what 8 o'clock. I woke up and I was just like, man, I don't even want to go, I was just laying in bed like, man, I could just blow it off and not go. But
Mhm.
then something in my mind was just like, no, you gotta go. Like, let's do it. They've been planning this. We've been planning this for a while. Like, we already took enough breaks. I took Thanksgiving off. I took Friday off. I took Saturday off. So I was just like, all right, we got to go in. We got to go in today. So
Yeah.
you know, because I took Thanksgiving off just because it's Thanksgiving. Wanted to like enjoy time with the family and all that stuff. And I took Friday off because I had to work. But then I could have went out. I could have gone afterwards, but it was just that lazy mentality. Then Saturday I had to work all day. Um, so I couldn't go, and then today was off. So I was like, all right, I gotta go, just because I told myself before that I'm trying to get back on that like, consistency. I got to be consistent because I was very consistent when I started working out. I was very consistent, and then like, I got lazy, and I would still go, but then I'd take off like 5, 6 days before I go again. It wasn't like how it was before, like every day. So I'm just trying to get back to that, how it was before, just trying to be consistent, staying healthy, and getting back to that right shape. How it was.
Yeah. When you wake up sometimes and you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I think when you break through that barrier, it really does wonders for not only like your mental health, your physical health, just kind of everything in your life to be like, no, I'm going to push through. And when I get over this mountaintop, I did it. And,
Exactly.
sometimes I think every great person, every great athlete wakes up and they say, I don't want to do this. And it's that
Right.
moment when you say, "Not, we're doing it today." You're telling your
Yeah.
body like you're tired, but you're getting your ass out of bed and you're gonna work hard today.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think
You're
when
gonna
you
get stuff.
overcome that, you become a stronger person.
Exactly. Like you just get done, and you're just like, okay, um, and it kind of makes you feel better, like that you got up and you accomplished something, even if it's just that one little goal of just working out.
Yeah,
It may
yeah,
not just be working out. It may be going out doing, running errands,
yeah,
cleaning your house, cleaning your car. It may be just little stuff like that. But as long as you did something, you didn't lounge the day away. It's NFL Sunday, so of course, like, you didn't just sit down and just watch football games the whole day. You actually went out and done something productive. You know,
hmm
it may not, even if it wasn't this morning, the night's still not over. So the day's
No,
still
not
not
at
over.
all.
So there's a lot more time to actually go ahead and do stuff. Yeah, so like, got up. I was able to get up, hit up the gym, clean up my room. Kind of do some stuff that, buy some things that I should have bought a long time ago. That I should have done. So it was a pretty productive day. Now I'm on the podcast with you, so it just makes everything better.
And we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff going on in your life and just kind of big things. So you had talked about how COVID kind of pushed you to do better in your life, and I find that really amazing.
Yeah. It's crazy now because when you think of COVID, you just think of the bad things that happened. All the shows being canceled. Can't really go out and see family and friends. Can't really go do out and do your regular normal basis. You always have to go out and do a mass. But I see this as like, I saw it as an opportunity to get to better yourself, because this was a perfect, because we had to be quarantined. Remember, we were quarantined for like, what, when COVID first happened, 3, 4 months.
Right.
I don't think 3, 4 months, like 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. everybody had to be quarantined, and nobody liked that. But a lot of people took a, a lot of people didn't. I don't think a lot of people took advantage of it to better themselves. You know what I mean? This kind of just showed you like, okay, for me, it made me sit down. Then again, I was diagnosed with it, so I had to sit down for 2 months. But it kind of made me realize of what I was doing. What am I doing with my life? Am I really content on where I'm at right now? And I found out that and they just blessed me with the opportunity to work where I am now. Do what I'm
Yeah.
doing now. Kind of I'm in a better place financially than I was last year. Because of the whole not going out and spending so much, and because I was going out like I would get a paycheck, right, and then I'll be like, all right, well, I already paid my stuff. I need to buy some new I need to buy some new shoes. I need to buy
Yeah,
a
yeah.
cream. I need to buy a vape. I need to buy all that stuff. Just spending like hundreds, hundreds of money on just a hoodie,
Yeah.
maybe a hoodie or a t-shirt or clothes, or shoes. And
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what I was doing. It was just like every paycheck, I'll just get some money and just blow it and just be broke for like 2, 3 weeks at a time. And they kind of made me just sit there and realize like, yeah, you can't, you do, yeah, like I could still buy it, but if you're gonna buy it, be responsible. Like what I'm doing now. Like I would save up. I would make sure my bills are paid, but I would save up that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just have that money saved up, and if I do want to buy it, I can buy it, but then not have to be like dead broke for like until I get paid again, which what I was doing back then. So it kind of made me think about like when I do spend money, like what is it like? What am I spending my money on? Like is it
Yeah.
going to be profitable? Is it going to benefit me like in the long run?
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And it's a discipline.
Yeah,
Everything we do in our life should become a discipline, whether it's financial, whether it's diet wise, health wise, communication wise. Sure, we could splurge, but look at the richest people on earth. They're disciplined. Yeah,
right.
they might have the ability to do whatever they want to do, but it's that discipline to say, no, maybe I should do this instead. And then
Yeah,
when I can do that, I'll do that. Yeah, I can go buy that. You
exactly.
love the Yeezys. I know you have a big collection.
Yeah,
And then
just shoes
that,
in general, really.
yeah, yeah, you're a shoeholic or what are they, a sneakerhead?
Sneakerhead, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
some people can do it because they've figured out like, let me cover these bases first and then I'll get up on my sneaker game.
yeah.
But then there's some people that are like, I can't eat, but let me get up on my sneaker game.
Yeah, exactly. There's some people that just and I was one of those people too, was just like, you know, I would buy it and it didn't matter if I didn't even if I knew I wasn't gonna have any money, I would still buy it just because I wanted it. It was a want. You know what I mean? But this whole COVID thing kind of just changed it. Like, okay, if I'm not gonna have it, I'm not gonna dwell on it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. There's a whole bunch of new shoes I still want to get. That I don't even have, and I can wait on those. They can wait on those. I don't mind. I have enough pairs of shoes. I will get them eventually, but not right as of right now. I need to focus on bettering myself, which I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, doing way better than I was last year.
Yeah,
As a
which is
person.
important. You got hit with COVID back
Yeah,
in what, March?
yeah, June. I think yeah, March, June, somewhere around
Okay.
there.
Okay. So during the beginning phases,
Yeah, it was at the
and
beginning phases.
you continue to test positive, but
Right.
no symptoms.
Yeah, it was crazy because you would always hear symptoms. My mom and dad would talk about the symptoms, and that's all you heard from everybody. Because when they first started, everybody was talking about COVID and the symptoms and all of that stuff. And one of my buddies tested positive, which prompted me to go test because I hang out with them a lot.
Yeah.
So I went over, which prompted me to go to test it. So I went over and get tested, found that I had it, So when we were talking back and forth, like, he would call me and we would talk and ask how is he doing, and I would ask how is he doing, making sure everything was okay, because we would just never know. And so he was asymptomatic. He never had any symptoms. He never had any symptoms. I myself didn't have any symptoms too, but I always like feared of just waking up one day and just having symptoms, because yeah, you hit the symptoms, but you just never. I was scared that I would just wake up one day and just be very sick and have to go to the ER.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, thankfully, I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't have any symptoms, so I wasn't able to pass it along to everybody else that's in
Right.
my household. You know,
Right.
and if I went into them, I always made sure I had a mask on and kept a distance just in case. You know, but yeah, thankfully nobody. We fought through it. Nobody had any symptoms, and in the household, and everything's pretty good. So
Yeah, and that's just kind of that respite time for you to sit back and be like
yeah,
every person needs to do, like, introspectively look at yourself.
exactly,
Fuck, what am I doing?
exactly,
What am
exactly.
I doing with my life? For me, it have kind of along the same ways where I was like, yeah, I was working and trying to quarantine,
Mhm.
and still do my thing and stay healthy. But I did have that extra time to reflect and say, if I want something, it's not going to be given to me. I
Yeah.
gotta really dedicate and sacrifice time and put a lot of effort in. Like the last podcast I did, I was up till 2 in the morning trying to figure out how do I sync this with that, and how do I get this mic with this, and how do I, just literally obsessing. How do I make this look good so that when I
Mhm.
put it out there, people will say this is professional. And
Right.
I really do think the key to success is not working really hard. I think it's being obsessed with something. Like you probably got to a point, like I said earlier, where or when we were talking, um, where you're like, okay, I'm gonna wake up today, I'm gonna drink more water. I'm gonna wake up
Right.
today, I'm gonna put healthy stuff in my body because I don't know if I'll feel the symptoms today. And then you
Yeah.
probably woke up one day and you're like, all right, now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my life.
Right. No, it was just because the for the first couple of weeks it was nice because I was able to catch up on my anime, catch play all the video games. I'll just wake up and just be doing that, which was nice for like the first but you can only do that for so long. Where after like doing it for a while, it just starts to I was quarantined for 2 months, so just imagine just 2 months of just not being able to leave your house at all.
Right.
It was nice like that first week because I was like I said, I was playing all the video games, I was watching all the anime I wanted to, but and then after a while I would just sit there and like browse on the internet and kind of just watch like YouTube videos and just kind of be like, okay, I need to start doing something. And then it just happened one of these those that one day I was just sitting there just browsing the internet, went on to like a couple websites, found that this place was hiring. This was like, this is at the end, kind of
Okay.
started that like kind of at the end when I like, because in order to go back to work, I had to get 2 negative tests.
Hmm.
So I tested one time, got a negative test, so I was good. I just had to test again negative before I was able to go back. So this is the time I also already tested negative. I did the 2 weeks again, quarantined, and then I tested again. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be for sure be negative.
Right.
And that's when I was just like, okay, I got to start, seeing if there's a job that's hiring that's kind of in the field of what I wanted to go for. And luckily enough, I was able to find, I found one, that didn't, because a lot of, I was going for pharmacy.
Yeah.
And if you want to be in the pharmacy, if you want to work in a pharmacy without being a pharmacist, you would have to be a pharmacy tech. And a lot of places, in order to work as a pharmacy tech, you would have to be certified. Well, I wasn't certified, so I had to find a place that would kind of get me in without being certified. Luckily, I was able to find a place to get me in without being. I'm still not certified. I was about to actually do some studying before you even hit me up, but got me in. Now I had to tell the other job, United, like, United Airlines, where I was working at the airport, like, hey man, I don't think I can go back just because it'd be kind of hard to balance work,
Yeah,
and then school coming up here in the
right.
next, couple months, like 2 months. I should be starting classes here in the next 2 months. For me, I know some people can do it, but for me, it's hard for me to just balance those two. I'm
Yeah,
not at that level to be able to balance both. I'm not gifted like that, I should say, because you hear have people like, oh, I have 2 jobs, 3 kids, and going to school full time. I'm just not at that level yet to be able to balance 2 jobs and going to school. So I had to
yeah. I
I had to
think that's
cut.
actually a gift though to be able to hone in on one thing. Kind of like as I get older, the people who try to do too much shit, they don't find success. When you really hone in on
Exactly,
one thing and be like, this is what I'm going to do, all my energy
exactly.
is going towards this.
Yeah,
I feel like that is a gift in itself.
right, right, right. Yeah. Um, I just think it's just like, like I've been at the airport for, I'm
Long
not gonna say
time.
how long time. So it's just I think I just kind of like it's gonna suck because like I couldn't really say goodbye to everybody that works there.
Hmm.
Like there's some people that because being there for 5 years at the airport, well, at United, but then at the airport for a long time, you kind of build a lot of trust. You kind of build a lot of friendships along with everybody that you work with. After seeing them for a while and just being able to just working with them and then seeing them outside of work. We all work at different parts of the airport, so being able to talk to them and not being able to say like a of like a goodbye, like, hey man, like there's some people I didn't even say goodbye to. I just took the VPPL, called me a little bit early. I was hoping that I can work it out, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. And I just sent the email saying that probably not gonna go back. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
And I,
but
you're
yeah,
doing it, man.
yeah, but I'm happy for this. I'm happy. I've gone for my certification as a pharmacy tech, so I'm happy to just put a new step in my life
Hmm.
as job wise as being working as a pharmacy tech for the next couple of years
Right.
until something else comes along. So we'll see what happens then. But
A
I'm
lot
excited
of
for the new stuff.
hey man, I'm happy for you.
That's good. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I think a lot of the times for me, I like to judge a man in the lowest points. It's easy to judge a man at the peak. Like this guy's on top of the mountain, and this is when we should judge him. I think the character of somebody is when they're in their lowest. So you're at
Exactly.
home, a couple weeks pass, you anime and video games, and you're like, all right, this is cool, but once I leave here, I got to figure something out. And that's when you
Exactly.
took those initiative steps to get into a
Exactly.
pharmacy, and
Yeah.
that's not a job where you just can mess around. Like there's
No.
a lot riding on your decisions, um,
Exactly.
how you look at things, and
Exactly.
you took
Like
those
a
steps.
Right. And it's a job for two, whereas like, just being up there. I've only been up there for like what, 4 months, 3.5 months or 4 months or something like that. And a lot of the people, they really if you tell them something because they really need their medications. Like there'd be times where it's just sometimes, and it hurts because sometimes you gotta say like we can't do it just because we don't have the medication in stock, or we just can't do it, or because their doctor didn't send the script in for them. So we gotta say no, but which hurts because you want to help everybody out, but the ones that we can help out, it makes you feel better because they leave with a smile, and you feels like you help them out a little bit more than just making the putting bags on the plane and making them go. It's just like you're actually giving the medication that they really need. And the medication that they have is, I see what it's for. I see the medication. I know what the medication is for, and some of them is just like,
Life or
uh,
death.
yeah,
Some of it could be life or death. That
life or
that
death, and
insulin
there's
that
some,
somebody needs
yep,
could be life
exactly,
or
or
death.
right, or some of this they have like a disease, like really bad disease, or that they're working with, and I'm blessed to not be having any of the diseases, but I'm one of the few people, but there's people out there that do have it and they do need to be treated. We can't always help. You can't always help them. That's the tough part of being about them. You will get yelled at. I have been yelled at a lot of times. But that's just because we didn't have the medication in stock,
Yeah.
and sometimes their insurance won't even pay for it. And sometimes they don't even know if their insurance, that sometimes their insurance coverage is cut off. So, but I mean, but a lot of times, we help them out and feels really good to help them out, actually do something that's helping, sucks I'm going into the customer service. I was hoping to not be in customer service ever again, but if I was going to if I was going to go as a pharmacist, I would eventually have to be in go back into customer service
Yeah. And I think
or
you will.
retail.
You took
Yeah,
the negative aspect of COVID. And
right.
I hope a lot of
Then,
people listening to this, who might be in the same situation at a crossroads. I think that's great. You were at a crossroads. Like
right,
you said, you could have just kept doing what you were doing. You
right,
could have just been
exactly.
content with that.
Right. But a lot of people they do that. They're content with where they're at. So, but for me, I'm always trying to better myself, whether it be working, whether it be playing video games, whether it be you know,
Working out.
working out. Yeah, exactly. Working out. I always try to be better than what I was the day before, and I don't just do that to like in working out. I put that in everything in life,
Yeah, I think
like,
that's
and
very
I
important.
think, right. And I hope that everybody has that mindset to like, I know 2020 was a bad year for everybody, but make the best out of it. You don't want to just have 2020 that's an excuse to me. Like, oh, COVID happening, so I'm not going to do anything. That sounds like an excuse to me. Like, no, you can still do stuff. You can still make your life better. Because if you don't do that now, you may not do that next year. You're like, oh, I'm going to do it next year. You may not do that next year, and then the year after that. So it's always got to be now. It's now or never, really. You
Yeah,
know.
and I think there's something to be said with sticking with something too, because I know you've been working a long time of I want to be a pharmacist one day, and
Right.
you've been saying that to yourself, and you could
Yeah.
have veered off that path a long time
Right.
ago when
Right.
things got tough, or you
Yeah.
might have been in class and you're like, man, this is a lot.
Yeah. This is a lot.
But I just think that sticking with that is very important to being successful in life. Like for me, I been in that path a long time, or that situation a long time, where I could just throw this away. But let me start a podcast. Let me get
Yeah.
out there and let me try to affect people in a positive way. Let me tell my story, and
hmm
let me have people get to know me, and let me get people on who I know can help you and tell their story. And if I stick with that, if I keep going, I know that can affect a lot of people. And I'm sure with you, like, hey, I'm gonna be a pharmacist. I'm gonna one day be running a pharmacy and be affecting what
Millions of
the
people.
drugs that help people, or
Oh, yeah.
giving the
Yeah.
recommendations that help people,
Right.
and
Right. Right.
having
Right.
pride in what I do.
Right. Exactly. That was the thing too. Is just I've been saying, if you've known me and we've talked, been saying, I wanted to be in this field for years. I mean, it's been like
Long time, man.
3, 4 years, 5 years maybe that I've been saying that I was always trying to, you know, be inside the pharmacy, trying to get into this pharmacy field. And look where I am now. I'm actually working in one, being able to talk to them, maybe not as a pharmacist, but as a pharmacy tech, which is pretty close enough. It's just everything the pharmacy does, everything a pharmacist just does, just without the schooling.
Hmm.
We sell the drugs, we don't prescribe the drugs, but we sell them, we fill them, we have to do everything that I can do, a pharmacist can do, but the pharmacist can do a little bit more, as in they're the ones that reviews the drugs. They're
Hmm.
the ones that say your doctor is prescribing a new, you have a prescription, and your doctor is calling in, then that only the pharmacist can do that. But I can do everything else. I can refill the prescription. I can, get one going. If it's If they have any refills, they want to get it refilled, I can get that going. I can do a lot of the stuff. So just the blessed, to be in this situation. And I remember the first 2 weeks, the first like 3 weeks I was up there, it was hell. I was sitting there. There were multiple times where I would just get off and be like, wow, is this really what I really want to do? Like, because it's not an easy job. It's not like working at working at Target. Just go in and you know how
Yeah.
to, there's a lot that you have to remember. You have to know like
Yeah.
certain stuff. You have to know how to do all of this stuff. So the first couple of weeks were just, I was thinking that I was sitting there thinking a lot like, man, did I really choose the right field? Did I really make the right decision? But hey, I battled it out, kept on going. Was just like, okay, I was always doubting myself. I was like, okay, what did I do that previous day? But what can I do? How can I improve on that when I come into work the next day? And and now I know how to do everything. And there's still stuff that I still need to know how to do, like, but a lot of the other stuff is just like, putting away. Like sometimes we'll get these boxes and we gotta of like medications, and we gotta input them in to the system a certain way. I still don't know how to do some of that stuff, and some of the typing also. Like when it comes to like liquid and the ointments, we have to type it in. Like
Yeah.
you might get some like a prescription from a doctor might send them a prescription for hydrocortisone, and we have to type it in before the pharmacist can view it, before she can actually we can actually get it ready to fill it. And there's some of the stuff I don't know how to do, but most part, like I'll say like 80-85%, I know what I'm doing. I can run it pretty good. So
Yeah, and a lot of stuff in school, that's the field you've been going towards. You're
yeah,
you're on that right path, man. You could have gave
yeah,
up. I think
exactly.
just that ability to push through is
To
is
push
the
through. Yep,
ingredient to successful people. Like we might fall down, but everybody's gonna have to get back up. It's the ones
get
that
that
choose to get back up.
exactly. That's
It's the guys that just say, you know what, I'm gonna just stay here. I'm gonna play video games all day.
yeah,
I'm gonna smoke. I'm gonna drink.
yeah,
Like that's eventually something's gonna have to click in your
yeah.
mind. There's like Darren Waller, dude, the tight end for the Raiders.
Right.
This guy could have gave up a long time ago. He was working at a grocery store
Mhm.
doing heroin.
Yeah.
Now he's in the NFL. And we went to school
Yep.
with some of those guys too, where it's like
Yep.
I don't want to say their names, but you probably know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I think
I
we've
would
had
have never thought you'd be in the NFL.
right.
And they
But
they
look,
fought through, man, and
we
they
fought
they
through.
they pushed through it. And
Right.
kudos to them. Like kudos to any, like I love guys that you never saw fucking coming.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
what gets me pumped is the guys that you're like, I didn't see that coming. Whether it's a pharmacist, whether it's a tight end, whether
Yeah.
it's a judge, a president, whatever the
The
fuck you
president.
want it
Yeah.
to be, the guys that come out of nowhere, those are the guys that, like Tom Brady,
Right. Yep.
like
Yep.
those are the guys that I have respect for because they were at the bottom.
Exactly. Yeah. And you always like hearing those stories. You see them a lot in sports, just because that's where you see it a lot. Unless you really know the person and talk to them, then you won't really know their like ups and downs or whatever. But in
Yeah,
sports, we'll just use sports as an example, just because that's where you most likely will see it. Like Tom Brady, 6 round draft pick. Nobody expected him. He was one of the last people to ever get drafted.
Kurt
Now look at him.
Warner working at a
Kurt Warner
grocery
was
store.
working at a grocery store.
Do you know the story of Kurt Warner? Like he talked about it at his Hall of Fame speech. If people haven't seen this, like go look his speech up. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know like the gist of it. I just know that he like worked at the grocery store.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
just know that just like the gist of it.
he was a stalker, and this story like should hit home with a lot of people. He was a stalker, so he worked the overnight shift.
Mhm.
He was the guy putting the Wheaties boxes up on the shelves, and it's like 2 a.m.
Right.
You're looking around, nobody's in the store. And that's when you're just in your head. Like we've all been there. If anybody's had that kind of job where it's like an overnight job or whatever, you're doing
Yep.
mindless work. So he's putting the Wheaties box on the shelf. On the Wheaties box is Dan Marino. From what he says, is he put the Wheaties, he was stocking the Wheaties boxes. Dan Marino starts talking to him. I don't know if he's hallucinating because it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Dan Marino starts talking to him. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? In
Right.
that moment where he's like, I don't know if this is real, if this is a dream, if I'm high, if I'm sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Dan Marino's talking to me on a Wheaties box, asking me, what am I doing with my life? And I'm in a grocery store stocking cereal boxes when I could be out doing so much more. And 2 years later, this dude's the Super Bowl MVP. Like
Yeah.
it's just those
Exactly.
stories,
Crazy.
man, that should get
Craziness.
everybody
Yeah.
fired up.
Yeah. Yeah. Excited. Or Cam Newton was a pretty good example. How he was a backup in Florida. I think he got in prison for a couple things, or jail or something like that. I remember watching like a video, and he got out, went to like a lower college, got
Yeah,
accepted to Auburn, went to Auburn, won a national championship, went to the
the rest.
NFL. Yep, the rest is history. We all know his story. I like those stories. I always wanted, those are the stories that you wanted to be. You were like, I want to be that guy that just like that everybody looked down like this guy isn't going to be anything. Nobody thought this dude. Right? Well, here's another person, Eminem,
Yeah,
growing up as a rapper. He's a white rapper rapping. Nobody really wanted him. He put his tape out for a lot of producers. Nobody really liked
nobody,
him.
no, nobody was
Nobody
vibing with that. Yeah,
nobody was vibing with him. Dr. J took a chance on him, blew up. So it's always, and that was the thing too. What do all of those people have in common? They had that mentality to not give up, to never give
yeah,
up, to always be like, even if I get punched, even if I'm going to be on the ground, I'm still going to stand up and still going to, go for what I want to be and
right.
achieve. And if you keep on, and then this just shows if you keep on working at it, you'll be there eventually. It may not be, so it may not be a year from now, may not be 2 years from now. Who knows? Maybe 3 years from now. But eventually, if you just keep on working at it, you're gonna be doing
Yeah.
something big. You know.
Hey, yo, I'm
Well,
infinite. You heard of hell? Well, I was sent from it.
yeah.
I went to a
Yeah.
serving a sentence for murdering instruments. Now I'm trying to repent from it. But when I hear the beat, I'm tempted to make another attempt at it. I'm infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I remember that.
he
That was
started off
good.
from
That
that,
was
and
fun.
then he's like, "Wait, nobody's paying attention to
Uh
this.
huh.
Like, I'm so lyrical. I'm so methodical, and
Yeah.
nobody's vibing with this." So he's like, I gotta
Gotta
make
switch.
Slim Shady."
Yep.
And then yeah, and
The
that
rest
got
is
the
history.
attention of the rest is history. But I'll still just find myself bumping Infinite and just be like,
Infinite,
man,
easily. Like I was just sitting there, just was it a couple nights ago, just listening to some people just react. I just love people reacting and just breaking down like rap music, and they were breaking down that song, and you always got to go back and just vibe with it. I always like for rappers, I always like listening to like their first albums just because it's when they're the hungriest. They're like, okay, I
yeah,
need to get signed. That's when you actually see them at their best. You want to
right,
hear the albums now just because some of them are just like, I already made the money. It's just the name is gonna be.
yeah,
They can buy it with the. They can. People are gonna listen to it just because it's this person. You know.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. There's an old saying that your first album, you start making it from birth. That's why it's the best because you
yeah.
you might have spent 26 years making that first album, like Jay Z.
Mm,
You could argue
exactly.
that that was 26 years in the making to make Reasonable Doubt. That's why
Right.
it's so classic. But then you get to those next couple, and I've made my money. I've arrived. It's
Right.
the artist that can still keep that genuine sense of, yo, I
Right.
remember when I was dead broke, like Jay-Z, when I was dead broke, asking my friend, like, yo, can I have a cookie? Like, he was so hungry one time. He had
Yeah.
no food, and his friend had like a little box of cookies. He's like, yo, like, can I have a cookie? And now
Yeah.
he's
Yeah. Yeah.
now he's a billionaire.
Right now you can buy it to spend 1,000 million cookies. you know, but that's good. And that's what you guys want to be. Like yeah, you're at rock bottom, but do you want to stay at rock bottom? or can you push yourself to be better? That's what you like. And that's what all the billionaires are. They all started from somewhere. People always see the fame, where you're at now. They just never see the progress it took, the amount of years, the hard work, the sleepless nights, you know, the time and effort it took to get up to that.
Right.
And a lot of people just want to be at the top without having to put in for the work. Everything takes everything you do, you have to put work in. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Even when it was like when I was making music really heavily back in the day,
Yeah.
man, I would just study, 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 study. There's always a guy somewhere in the world. He's writing
Exactly.
something. How do I get better? How do I get more
Better.
technical?
Yep.
How do I
Yep.
make
Yep.
this beat? Like, I think for me, I hate doing shit that's copying people, whether it's music, podcast, a logo. Like, it's got to be mine.
Yeah.
It's got to
Exactly.
be my original whatever. That's why eventually I was like, you know what? I could try to find producers. I could have them make beats for me, or I can try to learn how to make beats. And I
Mhm.
just, carrying that into whatever you're doing in life. If you're going to be a pharmacist, I want to be the best pharmacist I can be. And maybe that
Yeah.
leads to I own my own pharmacy,
Yeah.
and I want to
Yeah.
be as original as possible. I don't want anybody to say you took this, you took that. No,
You took
this
that from the yeah. What?
original ideas go far in honesty, and just like you said, you can be at rock bottom, but it's that choice. Do I stay here or do
Yep.
I bounce back?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. That's why. A lot of my buddies, they do bodybuilding. In the bodybuilding, they do a whole bunch of bodybuilding competition, and I always tell them, like, hey, you know, you're doing this now, but what is the other guys doing? You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
not over there. You may be resting now, but the competition is not resting. It's not only you that wants to be bodybuilder. Everybody else wants to be a bodybuilder that's into the field. So they're gonna push as hard. They're gonna push hard as hard as they can. So you have to push as hard as you can. And that's not only just for bodybuilding. That's everything for you. Podcasting. Um, how bad do you want it, really? Like, do you want it enough? Do you want it bad enough where you can just slack off some days, or do you want to be the best of the best? You
Yeah,
know?
that's why it's like this first month, which is today, October 29th, it
Yeah.
was the first one.
Oh,
So
really?
this is six in a month, and I want to just keep pushing and pushing
Yep.
and
Yep.
continue to build that tree where I can have like 10 in a month,
Yep.
and
Yep.
maybe have some just big people. And I think we're all people. You shouldn't be scared of somebody because they have fame or this and that. Like, if
No.
somebody can bring value to your life, I definitely want them on a podcast talking to me, because I can learn from it, and what you're saying
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
resonates with a lot of people who are at home. Maybe they're on unemployment, maybe they're on food stamps, maybe shit's going haywire, their business is closed down. Fuck the world, this shit's crazy. I don't know what to do. But like, if you can just say, man, it's gonna be okay. Like, just kind of like what you did.
Right.
That mentality is hard to teach.
Yeah. Not a lot of people have it. There's only a select few, and it sucks because you would wish everybody would have it. If everybody had the same mentality, the world would be a better place. But obviously, not a lot of people, because it seems like there's a lot of homeless people. Yeah, every time I drive, you'll always see a lot more people with signs.
Yeah.
Anything will help. Just being out there. Not having a home, and you kind of feel bad for them, but at the same time, it's just like they're the ones that didn't have the mentality to just, I gotta better myself. They were always in that. They were always content with what they were doing, and when things fell apart, they fell apart with it. When
Yeah.
things fell apart, they were out, getting drunk, being alcoholics, going into drugs, doing all sorts of stuff instead of trying to better themselves and trying to find a way and work around it. You know, um, I was at that time where I was always broke. I would be just only paying the bare minimum of bills and payments. You know, just barely surviving. Luckily enough, I was able to turn that around. Now I'm able to have some money in the bank, be able to pay what I need, and still have some money. And now I'm in a better position. Like I said, better in position than I was last year compared to I am this year. So always thankful for that. But the road is not a sprint, it's a marathon. The road's not over. You just got to keep on pushing. You may look good now, but how's it going to look next year? Then the year after that. That's where it matters. I always say.
Yeah, keeping an eye on the future, not
Exactly.
getting caught up in the present,
The
which
present. Exactly.
is tough,
Exactly.
man. You
Yeah.
know, hey, things are. I mean, I would have never thought we'd be sitting here talking about all this, and
Right.
I think I met you
It's
16,
been a minute.
16 years ago.
It's been a long time. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. And I'm just happy, we've talked a lot, and as we like the last time we talked, there were some people that we've known for 16 years that we don't even see anymore. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, even though we're not talking every day, even though we're not seeing each other every day, we talk here and now, here and then, and as far as I can see, that we're still doing. We're not, getting caught up in all this stuff, getting in trouble with the law, and doing bad for ourselves. So I want to look at and be like, dang, I known this dude back in high school, or I've known this dude for a long time. Now look where he's at. Never would have expected him from that.
yeah,
So
man. There's been some crazy times, some dark times, just some shit, man, and
yeah,
just to overcome things and look back and be like, yeah, that's cool, but I'm not satisfied.
yeah,
A lot of people in their
exactly.
30s, they get to that point where either I'm going to be satisfied, I'm going to be cool with how everything's going, or I'm going to keep pushing. And that's why you see a lot of people in their 30s very successful.
Yep, yep. It's the ones that just have that mentality to just keep on striving to be the best. You know, funny enough, I always that Pokemon song always comes up to me. Pokemon theme song. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
become the very best, and no one ever was. That's sometimes I'll be playing that even when I'm working it out, just because I want to be the very best.
Hmm.
I want to be someone that can, like, when I leave this, when I die, that time that I do pass away, I want to be somebody, like, I want them to remember my name. Just be like, when people think of me, just be like, yeah, he was a nice person. He's a good person. He never, he never really had things. That things really never got to him, made him really mad easily. I want to be somebody who remembered that was great. That always achieved, that always, uh, every time he had something, he would always do it. He had a good mentality of doing something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, okay, that person be like, yeah, he was okay. He wasn't too bad. When I do pass, I want people to talk and be like, yeah, he was a great person, a leader. You know, somebody that I can look up to,
Mm.
and somebody that I just want to be one of those when the time passes. And like I said, it's not too late now. There's always still time to do it. Even if you didn't do it. So
Yeah, that's powerful stuff, man. To really
yeah, of course.
have that awareness to I want to be this way, and
Yeah.
that's deep.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's always hard to find people to have conversations like these, just because, like, a lot of people don't like to talk about it. They like to talk about the present. They like to talk about, what's going on in their life, and how well their life is going.
Hmm.
But there's always those people that I always like having these, motivational talks, and showing that everybody's like, not only that I'm trying to strive for greatness, that you're trying to strive. You know, you're trying to be the best. This person's trying to be the best. Like you said, a lot of people you talk to, you know them just because of what's going around as of right now, and they're content with what they're doing as of what they're doing. But are they
Yeah.
really content? So
Yeah, I think just being also the best you can be is kind of what I'm hearing
hmm
from you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
be the best person that you can be. Um, don't let anybody bring you down. Like, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of mean people out there. There's a lot of negative people out there, but you got to be the light. To be like, hey, we don't need that negative. This world is too small. Life is too short to be negative.
For real.
Um, just kind of what I talk to a lot of people I talk to. We have a lot of these motivational, like kind of uh, real. I guess I'd say real stuff conversations, and
Yeah, man.
it makes you a better person. In the long run, I'd say.
Yeah, so I guess we'll leave with this. You got the new do. You want to show people?
I mean, they can already see like I gotta tied it
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. Just no, turn it. Yeah, turn to the
uh,
side.
to the side,
That's
yeah,
dope,
I
dude.
got
That's
it. Got it on the bun.
see that new look, like a new setting or a new look is very powerful. A lot of people don't realize if you're
Yeah,
feeling some kind of way and you're stuck, feng shui is real, and it might not be
yeah,
like the furniture in your house, but like what you look like, and
exactly.
you did that too, and I went on that path where I was like, yo, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I went on
it's
that path
it's
too, and I'm like, yo, let me get
it's
my
funny
man
because
going.
I remember I just saw like a pic. You posted up a picture on like Instagram or something, and I was just like, oh, Sass, this dude's going out this here too. And it's funny because we kind of just like
At the
didn't
same
plan
time.
it. Yeah, we kind of just like I think you when you started going your stuff out.
So during the pandemic, it like you said, no barbers or anything, kind of got crazy. And then I hit one point where I'm like, you know what? I wanna have a man bun. I wanna do something. It's not even about the man bun. It's
Right.
about let me prove to myself that I can do something I've never done. Like I've never had a way to like tie my hair up or let me try something I've never done.
Yeah.
And that kind of led to, you know what, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. And
Yeah.
that rewires your brain in some way to say,
Exactly.
if people have the same haircut for 15 years, I'm sorry, there's something fucking wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um, I just think it's like another, like in we'll take sports as example, just because I follow sports heavy. We both follow sports heavy. Um, a lot of people a lot of players they just need that new change of scenery. You know, they get drafted to this team, high draft pick, um, not really working out. We'll use Markel Fultz for an example. He got drafted to the 76ers.
Yeah.
Was he first overall pick? He wasn't doing too well, you know. And you got traded to the Orlando Magic, and he's doing better than he was with the, not I wouldn't say first pick overall status, but I mean he's doing way better. And you kind of just need that change of scenery. Whereas in like it's not a change of scenery, but it's a change in appearance. Kind of just like hit that refresh button. It's funny nowadays because I talk to a lot of people and they saw me with my long hair and they didn't even recognize me. They're like, man, we didn't even, I'll say what's up to them. I'm like, hey man, what's up? I'll see them, and they'll just look at me like, who the heck is this guy? You know, and then they'll come up to me and they'll be like, oh man, I didn't even recognize you with your new hair, and I was just like, yeah, but I mean, I like it. Always got to change. Change is good.
Change
It's
is
a good
good.
thing.
And if people have a
Yeah.
problem with it, I mean, like I said, there's the samurais, there's the
This
sumo
is
wrestlers. Go talk to them.
go
They
talk to that.
they started this.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've always like, because I remember my friend had it. Like, it's funny because my friend had it, and he was always telling me, he was like, hey man, you should grow your hair out. And I was just like, I just can't do it, for a while. And I was just like, I mean, I don't want to do it. But then this is before the pandemic even happened. And then when COVID happened, like you said, when COVID happened, barbershops and salons were all closed. It just started going, and I was just like, you know what, might as well, just check it out, see how it, I might like it. If I don't like it, I can always cut it, But I like it, I'm gonna rock with it, stick it out. It's not long, it's not super super long, but let's see how it is coming next month, in the next couple months, you
Yeah,
know.
man.
How long did you get yours before you actually like? Did you like cut the back? Did you say you like cut the back or whatever?
Yeah, I
Made
did
it the,
a fade all the way around. It probably took shit. Last October I had a buzz cut,
oh
so
yeah,
it took about close to a year for it to really pop out. And now,
yeah.
the next step is get this beard popped out.
I see that. You're just how long you just trying to get that like all?
I'm trying to get it all the way up. Just
Oh
then
yeah,
I'm not gonna James. So like Trevor's probably gonna see this, but like the middle of the pandemic, I remember I was like, "Yo, I got your mic at my place. Like I had his microphone. Let's meet up so I can give it
yeah,
back to you because he wanted to record some stuff." And
right,
we met like halfway, like by DU. And
yeah.
this dude, like Trevor, when you're seeing this, looked just like James Harden. His beard
the,
was thick, thick, thick. And I remember just being like, dude, like, man, your beards get thick, bro. Like his no joke, like James Harden, bro.
like
Like
James
just
Harden, damn.
that thick James Harden. I don't know if I'm gonna go that deep with it, but I'll probably get it to where it's nice and nice and trim. And I see you got the stash.
Yeah, I've always had the stash rocking out. I just have the hair now. I might like just have it like where it's just no facial hair, just long hair, no facial hair. You know,
Okay.
trying something different. I had it and then I ended up and then it started going out like this. But yeah, I haven't seen that man. I haven't seen my boy Trevor in a minute. How's he been?
He's been good. We'll have to get him on the pod with you.
Yeah,
We could do a three-way pod. I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
since the pandemic is kind of revving up, we were originally gonna have you come by in the studio. I got the two mics. I got another HD camera, but with everything going on, I think
yeah.
just remotely was the better call right now. And so
Yeah, we can keep it remote just to be safe. No rush to just get up in the studio. There's always going to be time for that. You know,
yeah. Hey
so
man,
yeah,
thanks for coming on, bro.
of
This
course,
is this has been
anytime.
some good stuff. Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me, man. Always a pleasure. I've never been on a podcast. This is the first time, so you know, I was always blessed. I was just like, man, my boy Kauffman's about to hit me up to be on a podcast. I was excited.
That's right.
I'm happy you hit me because we were supposed to do this next Sunday. But I'm happy you hit me up to do it today. I thought it went pretty well.
Yeah, this was fun stuff. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. A lot more stuff coming the way. Sivutha will definitely be on another one. And I want to say, stay fresh, my people.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right, then, fam.